Welcome to the workshop. So I'm back in the workshop again, and I'm going to be preparing some timber from this cherry tree butt. It's not very big, so it's something we can cope with in our machine shop. First thing I'm going to do is just sight along it to see how crooked it might be. And apart from this far end, it's not too bad. So I'm going to cut that far end off, work that separately, and I may get a couple of small bowl blanks out of that. I've set the bandsaw up with a 1/2 inch blade. I think it's three teeth per inch, skip tooth blade. So let's initially cut the end of that off, and we'll just eyeball this. Now if I show you on the smaller section the theory behind the way I do this anyway, I want to prepare a flat surface, reasonably flat surface, to use on the table. So I'm going to cut a thin slice. I'm just looking here, there's a reasonably flat area here. So if we just cut it so that that rocking disappears, we'll then be able to push through and make some decent cuts through the length of it. I use my big fence. It slides fairly easily on here. I can keep the surface against the fence and the surface against the table, which will help for stability. So I'll set that up for the cut. Set my rip fence. So that's now guiding this fence, and I should be able to push the two of these through together and make a reasonable cut. So we've produced a relatively flat, very flat surface, which we can now use against the table to push through and get some accurate cuts. I'll continue to use the sliding fence. It's quite a good method. So I'll take a cut there, I think. we have a squared up block which we can continue to cut on the bandsaw nice and safely, or take to the table saw. If we wanted to cut veneers from this, we could surface plane one of the sides to act as our reference, square up an adjacent side, cut one veneer off, plane the side again, cut the next veneer, and so on and so forth. Now I've squared off the long log, what I want to decide is how to cut it. If we look at the end grain, we can see this is the centre, and so from something this small we really ought to be looking for some quarter sawn pieces for stability. This obviously would give us a nice couple of pieces, maybe for the sides of a box or for a top. This side not so much, and this direction quite good. And also we've got like that and like that. I'm going to cut off here to begin with, then using this as a base we can cut out the largest section of quarter sawn. I shall cut it probably about an inch wide. Once that's cut out, we've then got a flat surface in this direction, and we can cut out a quarter sawn area there, and off the other side another one there. Then using this flat top surface we can cut out a piece there, same with this one, a piece there. It depends what you want to make really, but this is the way I'm going to treat this log, and we'll see what comes out of it at the end of the day. And maybe in a year or so's time we'll be using this wood in a little project. To cut this section across here I need to tilt my table to 45 degrees. Then if I transfer my fence to this side of the table, it will give me good support as I push the work through. That looks good, so let's cut it. So to cut out this quarter sawn section, resting on this large base, because we've got feathered edges here, they'll just stick under any fence and get jammed. So I'm going to eyeball it, and I've just drawn in a couple of pencil marks down there to give me a guide. It's quite an interesting result. I was trying with this butt to get some spalding, try and have it spalted cherry, and I managed to grow the fungus through it, and it's got the discoloration, the lining, circling. And that might be quite interesting once it's thoroughly dried and planed up. So I'm quite happy with that, quite pleased. So that goes into stick now for, I should think, for a year. Now I can get on with the larger sections. So I hope you found those few little tips useful. See you again soon.